you and your viewers. Choose who can participate. Okay. Oh, I don't think I did that. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm live. I've never done this before. Hi, everybody. Going live today for the first time on YouTube. Here to answer any questions that people might have, whether it's therapy related, being a new therapist, starting your own private practice, whether it is societal timeline related, not being partnered yet, worried about fertility, any questions on egg freezing. I'm here to answer it all, and just gonna get to know everybody a bit better. I'm coming live to you from Westchester, New York, where it is a gazillion degrees, super hot. And yeah, I don't really know how to do these things because I've never been on here before, but we're really excited about continuing to cultivate a community on here. We have our membership program. We would love to get people over there. We're going to be sharing a lot of behind the scenes things, really fun informational videos that will only be available to the membership. A lot of how-tos. I'm going to share a lot more about my personal journey, my personal life, things like my egg freezing story, things like how I got my partner on board to have children, how I started my own private practice. So there's going to be a lot of amazing content and material in the membership program. You guys will have early access to all the podcast episodes, clips never before seen clips. So join us in the YouTube membership. It's going to be amazing. You'll get more time with me every month, which I think is great. I have a lot to share, a lot to offer, and really want to support and help everybody on their journeys. So great to be here. Okay, we have a question coming in. What do you do when a client comes with nothing to talk about and answers any prompt questions with a few words that goes nowhere? Okay, this is a really difficult one, but yes, therapists, we're really going to find clients that require us to work a little bit more in session, particularly when you're first starting out with a client. It might be, scary for them to open up, to be vulnerable. We're still very new people to them. They don't know us. It can be an uncomfortable, scary place at first. So I've had a lot of clients like this, and I have one client in particular that I think about when I hear this question. And I'm so proud of this client and the progression in treatment and of our relationship, because we got to a point where we would joke about the fact that literally for the first 5, 6, 7, maybe even 10 sessions, anything that I asked her, she would say, I don't know. I don't know. It was always her response. So what I did with that is I stay patient. I stay patient with the client. And for me, if a client continues to come, they're getting value out of the session. And I think for us as therapists, when we get a client that's a little more closed off or not as responsive or not as talkative in sessions, we can feel like we're not adding value. So I like to say to myself, okay, she's coming back, she's getting value, she's just takes a little longer to open up. So I was happy to do a little bit more work in those sessions. So I would prompt her with more questions to get to know her. I didn't push too hard or push too fast, was because I could tell that she was not ready to completely open up. And so patience and consistency. And also what I do with clients that aren't offering much in session is I like to give like journal prompts or homework for them to do outside of session, so that we can use that as like a jumping off point for the next session, that we can go through the homework exercise. Hopefully that prompts some more questions. Maybe outside of sessions, they're a little bit more comfortable in their own space, in their own time, to be responsive to some journal prompts or exercises, and using that to slowly build the rapport and the trust. And eventually your client will start to open up. So it happens, it's normal. I would say if it persists for too long and you don't start to see any progression after a handful of sessions, it might be time to like check in and reassess the fit, because it might be, it might just not be the best fit. And that's totally fine. We're not the best fit for everybody. But want to normalize that happens often. That's totally normal. And there's definitely ways to stay patient with clients and work with them, encourage them to open up even more. And I've found that is so rewarding when you eventually get a client like that to feel really safe and comfortable with you and start opening up and sharing. And again, like this specific client, I developed the most amazing relationship with her, and it got to a place where her and I can joke about the fact that the first 5 to 10 sessions was, I don't know. So I hope that's helpful. Let's see if we have any other questions. Oh, what path did you take in your education? What was good, bad about the path? Okay, so funny story. I literally just shared this conversation today about my career path. Um, it wasn't always linear. Hold on, I'm getting a text. Can you text Shelly and just tell her we're on? Yeah, I think for some people, like they always knew they wanted to be a therapist. Like there was something innate in them that they were drawn to, like helping people, supporting people. And while I always felt like I was a people person and always was like, and still am, loving and supporting of people, I never knew like, oh, I want to be a therapist. My career started after I moved home from Europe. Um, I'll share that on another live. I lived in Europe for a year with an ex-boyfriend of mine. I came home, I worked in finance because I majored in business and economics, and because that's what was told I should do. No one was encouraging me to understand what I felt passionate about, what I liked, anything. So I came home, I went right into finance. I worked in did back end office finance stuff. I couldn't even tell you, customer service, something, I don't even know. For about 2 years, and it was really miserable for me. It was like bland cubicles, just like I would walk around and saying to myself, I can't believe this is where I spend most of my time. So the problem was I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't even know what I liked. I'm like 23 years old. The only thing I knew or took was like in college was business classes. So I really felt like I was directionless. I had no idea what to do. And I had a friend of mine at the time that worked at NYU, and he kind of knew the position I was in. And he said, hey, this is not really like a career move, but if you want to work here, NYU will pay for you to go back and get a master's. So I jumped on that opportunity. And kind of talking about it and thinking about it now, I'm kind of proud of myself for even just like taking that leap. And some might look at that as like it's a backwards move, it's a linear move, like what is this even job? But I saw the opportunity to get the master's. So I got a master's in PR and corporate communications at NYU. And then I finished that master's, and I said to myself, I don't think I'm going to like this either. I think that if I start a career in this, I'm going to be the same place I was in finance, 2 years into it, realizing I would hate it. And one of the driving forces for me was I needed more freedom and flexibility. So then I started to think about school counseling because holiday breaks, vacations, summer break, I was like, okay, that's a lot of time. I get to like choose to do what I want with. So I went back for a master's in school counseling. I did my internship in school counseling and realized that it was not clinical enough. So I went back to school for mental health counseling, and that was like the aha moment. Where I was like, this is it. I finally like figured it out. It was something that clicked in me. So the good of my path was trying and failing actually gave me a lot of information about what I wanted, because I started from a place of not knowing what I wanted at all. And really trying and understanding what I didn't want led me to figure out what I wanted. So the good was taking the risks. The bad, I don't want to say anything was bad because I don't really resent regret. I don't resent. Resent's the wrong word. I don't regret anything. But there were challenges. It was a lot of school, a lot of money. I still have loans and debts that I'm working to pay off. And there were moments, and this is the purpose of the podcast, because there were moments where I was comparing myself to my other friends that were much further along because they didn't take these different course changes in their career. They kind of figured out what they wanted to do early, and they from 22 were working and progressing in their career. So the emotional weight of that, I would say, was like the only bad part of my journey, but it's the reason I'm cultivating conversations on Quiet the Clock, to take the pressure or the comparison away from anyone that is deciding this career is not for me and I want to try something else. Starting a new job later in life can be so scary though. True, it can, but if you can push through that, it is so extremely rewarding. I have watched so many clients stay stuck in jobs they really don't like, knowing that they want something more, and it's asking yourself, am I willing to endure something scary to see what's on the other side? Because I promise you, there really is so much on the other side, and it's really fear that keeps people from moving. And I always say, this has kind of been my motto in life, that I'm more afraid of what it would feel like to not do the thing than actually trying to do the thing. And I'm going to butcher this quote, but it's like, and I forget where I heard this. It was a quote that was like, the scariest thing in life is passing away and then meeting the version of yourself you could have been. So for me, that's scarier than starting something new. And really what I feel like keeps people stuck is not believing that there is actually something on the other side of pushing yourself through sitting in discomfort. But I've worked with so many clients that when they have moved through that fear, everything gets better. You know, for example, I had a client that was in a relationship for 9 years. It really wasn't the right fit, but the repetitive narrative that he said to himself is like, I'm not going to meet anybody else. Fast forward, he made the move, he ended the relationship, and he is way happier and way better off. So yes, it is scarier, but I think the scarier thing is to stay stuck where you are and stay unhappy. All right, I'm going to do one more question. And is there a support group for this topic you can recommend? Yes, I can. Join our membership group on YouTube. We're going to be talking about all of these topics. We're going to do once a month kind of group therapy style where everyone can come in with questions, things they want to be supported with. I think it's just going to be an amazing space to cultivate and continue the conversations that we're having on the podcast. So join our YouTube membership. Lots of fun stuff in there. Okay. Does post-session doubt ever go away? I love that. For anyone listening that's not a therapist, please know that we always, I don't want to say we don't second guess ourselves, but we always want to make sure that we are doing a good job, that we are adding value, that we're actually helping you and supporting you. And sometimes, we don't often get that validation to know that it's actually working. So does it go away? Yes and no. I think as you grow in your career and you get a little more confident, you feel that less. But I think what always stays is this desire to do a really good job, desire to really help your clients and support them and see them thrive. So I would say it goes away-ish. But I think it's important to find ways to sort of self-validate the work that you're doing. Like I said earlier, when I was talking about my previous clients that, didn't open up right away, things like, are they coming back every week? Sometimes they'll drop little nuggets like, I thought about you when, or you'll be so proud of me, or I couldn't wait to tell you this. Those are cues that they're really getting something out of the treatment and they value your relationship. Okay, first live. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. We're going to be doing more of these. I'll just hop on here and chat, answer any questions. I really want to keep getting to know you guys. I appreciate everybody here that is tuned in and listening and loving the content. There's lots more to come. I'd love for everybody to join the membership, and I just really want to get to know everybody a bit more. Thank you for listening.